Starbucks is partnering with over 30 other QSR chains for a first of its kind reusable cup pilot in Petaluma, California from August 5th to October 28th. Chris Walton, you're going to be out there. I want you to go to Petaluma and I want you to try the reusable cup program and report back. Can you do that for us?
I could, except I'm going to Southern California, and I think
You're
Petaluma
going to
is
be in the state, Chris. I
Northern
want you to drive
California.
up there.
It's a
Drive
big
up there.
state, and it's a big state.
You got time. You got time. According to Chain Storage, this includes participation from brands like Dunkin', Pete's Coffee, Burger King, and Yum brands, with 8 Starbucks stores involved. Customers will receive their to-go beverages in reusable cups marked with sip, return, repeat. And after use, the cups can be dropped at one of over 60 return bins across the city where they will be collected and sanitized for reuse. The initiative, supported by the Next Gen Consortium, aims to reduce single-use cups. Advertising will raise awareness across Petaluma, and some return bins will remain post-initiative. This effort aligns with Starbucks' goal to become a resource-positive company by 2030, reducing its climate, water, and waste footprint. Chris, we're going to go over to you for this one. What must be true for a pilot like this to successfully scale beyond California?
Well, interesting. Petaluma is in Northern California. I have a lot of friends in the Bay Area who are very excited about this initiative.
Really?
Hey.
Yes, sustainability is very top of mind. So for many consumers, so this is an amazing initiative to watch. I would say in terms of scalability, 2 things really must be true. Number one is adoption and engagement, right? And I think, again, sustainability is so top of mind that I think initial engagement should be strong, but repeated engagement is critical for the success of this, not only in Petaluma, but also to scale.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, the cost, or I should say, the opportunity to service. So, if I read this correctly, customers are going to be getting these recyclable, if you will, cups, and then the brands are going to be responsible for washing and maintaining. And so I think, this is all underpinned with a cost to serve, right? Because ultimately it is the brand's responsibility to make sure that they are providing these cups, resources, et cetera. And if in order to scale, you have to have organizations that can do this, as well as, what is the cost to do that, to service. So, again, I think it's a great concept. Really excited to watch this. Again, a lot of friends are very excited that this is rolling out in their backyard. But I think in order for it to scale, it really does come down to, again, those 2 things. Engagement, servicing, and then again, underpinned with the cost to service.
Yeah, that's going to be the really interesting one to watch for me, is how much does this end up costing them?
Yeah.
And is it worth it, yes, to meet sustainability goals, but can they make it pencil? Mohit, anything you'd add to what Chris's recommendations for scale are?
The way I would just think about this is I think there are some learnings which we can allude to across the pond. And I think about, this is not the first time when Starbucks has done something to kind of push their global sustainability program. So if you'll remember, as Starbucks kind of grew early on in the early 2000s in Europe, if customers came with their own cup, you got a discount in terms of the beverage you were buying. There were multiple programs after that in UK, Germany, a lot of other developed Western countries. I think the biggest barrier here, beyond really thinking about the cost to serve, is consumer adoption, right? And that consumer adoption is, yes, customers want to be more sustainable, but a lot of times, it's also around, hey, I'm in a rush. I did have a reusable cup. I forgot to take it, right? Or I'm coming from a meeting and, walking to another place in town. I'm not going to be walking with that cup, right? So there are practical realities around, being able to walk around with a reusable cup, which I think is a bigger issue as you kind of think about adoption in general. And frankly, I would say the Europeans are, a lot more progressive around sustainability and climate related issues, and we haven't seen this really scale there. So again, great pilot. I think there's a lot of benefit there, but probably we are few years away from it being scaled the way U.S. consumers are thinking right now.
Yeah, Mohit, I think two key points you call out. The incentive or the discount is not high enough yet from these retailers to get them to use their own reusable cup, it doesn't seem. And then maybe there's like the consequence side of things with like, reusable bags. If you don't bring your reusable cup, you get paid or charged an extra amount or something like that. But Chris, Walton, where do you land on this?
I mean, the thing about that's coming to my mind to that question is who cares? The fact is that they're doing it, and you test and learn, and you learn by doing. And I think that's the really interesting thing. And cities and municipalities tend to watch these things very closely, and they learn from each other in them. I've always wanted to bring a Wire reference into the show, Ann, but do you remember the episode in The Wire where the police chief like sets up like the hovel for all the drug use, and there's all the benefits, and then I remember at that time like cities were trying to
or whatever.
Yeah, New Amsterdam. Yeah, right.
New Amsterdam.
And cities at the time were trying to do that, and they were trying to learn from each other. So this is like that same type of thing where, Petaluma is going to be the first to start. You're going to learn what works, what doesn't. How do you incentivize the behavior that you guys have been talking about? And then somebody else is going to try it. And then. And so kudos to Starbucks for championing this. They're very good on this front. Kudos to the other QSRs for jumping on too. And kudos to Petaluma for being the one that says, okay, we're going to try this and see what happens.